What's going on, guys? This is Bobby Douglas, and this is just part 2 of the Jalen Suggs full game video breakdown. This is obviously the Final Four game against UCLA. We saw a little bit in the first half, some of that defensive intensity, that explosion athletically. So we'll see more of that in the second half, and then obviously some of his best individual plays of the entire season for Gonzaga. So let's get right into it here. Again, number 1 in the white, if you guys don't know. And yeah, we'll watch him play. He's being guarded by Tiger Campbell right now, and he has the ball. Let's see what we got here. Nembhard on the drive, and he's going to get that layup. Can't get it to go. I believe we got a foul here. So yeah, Jalen Suggs, obviously, right now, number 2 on my board. I mentioned that in the first half. Kind of hard for me to compare him because there are a lot of different guys he reminds me of. I've seen a lot of Brandon Roy, Chauncey Billups types. I think those are all fair. I think, his floor is kind of like a solid NBA starting point guard. I think is legitimate, I think that's his absolute worst outcome. I just think there's too much there with the passing vision, the athleticism, the basketball IQ right there. Nice little drop down pass into Drew Timme in the post, and he's going to not be able to get that one to go down. But I think that's his floor. And so really when you're thinking about it, that's a pretty high floor to have. It's kind of just that steady, solid point guard role in the NBA. Obviously one of the most important positions on the floor, if not the most, as evidenced by these playoffs. A lot of these teams that don't really have a true point guard, they're struggling. Philadelphia comes to mind. So it just becomes a pick of value in a sense at 2 if you want to take Suggs there. Obviously, if he falls down to 4, even better. And here we have Suggs on the left wing again, just getting it down to Drew Timme in the post. And Kispert wide open for 3. Can't hit that one down. But another good pass by Drew Timme right there. Let's see, I think they may have switched up the defensive assignments. Yeah, so they actually have Nembhard guarding Tiger Campbell. Remember, we saw Suggs on Campbell in the first few minutes of the first half. But now they have him straight up on Johnny Juzang. Obviously, Juzang, one of the better. And right there, you can see Suggs. Okay, this is what he needs to do a little bit more of. I think if he can really unlock this float game, right? I actually responded to one of you guys who commented on the first video where they were saying, oh yeah, Suggs is good, but I don't really see him being a superstar level guy, which I totally understand because the explosion and the wiggle that he kind of lacks, I think kind of goes against traditional superstar types of scorers, right? But I do think if he can really elevate this mid-range game and this float game, as we were going to see him get off of 2 feet right there and knock that one down, if he can really elevate that float game, we've seen how devastating a float game can be. Look at Trae Young, right? If he can really get that under control, all of a sudden that opens up a whole bevy of avenues for him offensively in terms of finishing, and that makes him even more dangerous because he can throw that lob there as well. I call it the Trae Young read option, where it's he's in the air and then he can either throw the lob to Clint Capella or finish with the floater. I think that's probably going to be the next wave of NBA guard scoring. We've seen James Harden do it for a while when he had Capella. I think LaMelo Ball is a very good candidate to do it in the future. Suggs is going to pull up for 3. That one's way off. And this is what I mean, where he's kind of just inconsistent in terms of his shooting. So we're going to watch the mechanics here. Again, pull up for the 3. It all looks kind of solid, but it's just kind of way off and it's an air ball. Again, 34% from 3 this year. Obviously not great. But, again, it's more inconsistent than it is concerning. He would have games, again, where he'd go 4 for 5, 6 of 7 from 3. Then other games where he'd go maybe 1 of 7, things like that. So, overall, I'm not super worried about the shot. It definitely needs to get better. But you can see, again, just the activity defensively. He gets fighting around this little curl screen by Jaquez, right? And he's just going to be able to deny this pass. Again, stays right attached to Juzang and then almost gets that steal for a deflection. Those are the types of little plays that Suggs will make, and those are the types of plays that really separate him in terms of that 2 through 4 range that we've been seeing a lot of. Suggs, Mobley, Green, I think is pretty much the consensus 2 through 4 in any order you want. And again, I just think defensively, obviously Mobley's awesome defensively, but Suggs just in terms of his overall energy and effort, I think that kind of puts him in another class for me right now. Obviously, that can change. You can see him get on the floor again. But that time, Jaquez is going to get the layup. But that could obviously change. Mobley's obviously a really talented player. I think the top 4 in this class, plus Kuminga, if you want to include him at 5, are all really, really promising. And so I feel like I'm splitting hairs when it's 2 through 4, right? But right now, I just think the visible intensity and effort that Suggs displays on like kind of a nightly basis, right now for me at least, is kind of the deciding factor in terms of who goes at 2 and who goes 3 and 4. Obviously, I think in terms of like, I think Cade regardless goes number 1, but obviously the lottery is probably like 16 hours away right now, and so that'll ultimately determine like, who goes where. 2 through 4, I think I could see any combination of those 3 going in any order, depending on who ends up picking there. Like, for example, if the Bulls get number 2, I think they take Suggs. I think if, right there, good contest on Juzang, and again, you can see Suggs just kind of battling, right? Looks like a little bit of a miscommunicated switch right here, and so he's kind of off a little bit, but he sees, again, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Juzang's going to rise and fire. Good contest, meets them at the summit, makes that shot as difficult as possible given his 6'4 frame. And he's giving up a few inches to Juzang as well. So again, just kind of making his life tough. Juzang really hasn't been able to get going since Suggs was put on him as the primary defender. And so I think that's kind of saying a lot in how much they trust Jalen Suggs defensively. See Cody Riley. I think it's going to be Gonzaga ball. Yeah. I believe that was off of Cody Riley. And here's Suggs again. Again, just a simple slip pass to Timmy. Again, this is what I mean. Just like the ease with which it comes for Suggs to create open looks for teammates. Timmy does a really nice job slipping this ball screen, and then immediately it's an easy pass for Suggs to find Timmy at the elbow almost, right? And then again, boom, Timmy's just going to take over the rest of it. Kind of an easy assist for Suggs. Didn't really have to do a whole lot. But again, just he's a guy that, will make the right read pretty much every single time down the floor. Isn't gonna miss open players. He's very unselfish, obviously, and you can see him right now D'ing up Juzang as well. And so again, I think if you buy into Suggs in terms of, again, right here, just swarming Juzang, he can't get anything going. Good hedge by Timmy as well defensively. But right there, just, that's the Drew Timmy that has to go back to Gonzaga this year as for a junior season. But, you can see Suggs, again, the energy, not really giving Juzang any room to breathe. And, he hasn't, I don't think he's scored in this half yet, so. There's Timmy with the 3. That's what they want him to take. And Tiger's going to get it over to half-court line. Again, Nembhard's going to be on him. You can see Suggs on Juzang. There is a little bit of Russell Westbrook to Jalen Suggs, I think. He obviously has the passing chops of Russell Westbrook. I think in terms of, like, being physical, I think Suggs definitely resembles Westbrook in that sense. I don't think he's nearly as, like, explosive athletically, but I do think there's just, like, there's a sense where Westbrook kind of makes sense. Just in terms of like the ability to embrace contact, driving towards the lane. Maybe not the most polished finisher around the basket, or maybe not the best shooter in terms of mechanics, but I do think just in terms of the hustle, energy, effort, focus, passing, rebounding, willingness to get better there. I think there's a lot of similarities to Westbrook. I wouldn't necessarily call that a direct comparison, but I think that's someone who I think he can maybe model his game after. I feel like Westbrook kind of gets tossed around a little bit too much in terms of being compared to prospects. But I do think I see a little bit of Westbrook and Jalen Suggs. Again, obviously, too, I think he's a little bit more steady than Westbrook just in terms of his mentality. Westbrook we've seen get a little bit too volatile emotionally. Right there, Suggs, really nice job just gliding through the air. Again, just succeeding off the ball, right? So, again, he's going to get the ball in transition. Juzang doesn't really have a shot against him. Suggs is going to do a really nice job gliding through the air, avoiding the charge, and finishing with that right hand. Again, it's kind of a difficult layup and a difficult floater, right? And he just kind of has that touch right there. If he can really kind of iron that out even more, right, we could see a lot more plays like that from him in the NBA. But yeah, overall, great job from Suggs right there, just being in control and finishing with the right hand. But no, yeah, he is kind of hard to pigeonhole for me in terms of any certain one comparison right there. You could see him kind of having to monitor Cody Riley. And again, he's very subtle here too. But watch how like staggered he is in terms of stunting and being aware of Juzang, right? So he's kind of like waiting for Cody Riley to kind of turn his back, and then he's going to make his move even deeper in, right? So once he knows Juzang's not getting the ball, because Cody Riley's not going to make that like crazy reverse behind the back pass, obviously, right? So he's able to kind of just sink in deeper into the help position, right? And he's going to, he can't really get out there to contest the weak side. But just kind of like the overall awareness and the court IQ that Suggs has, I think, was present there. You can see him hit that three. Oh, no. Again, way off. Again, similar stuff, right? Again, it looks pretty good from a mechanic standpoint. Feet maybe are a little bit too narrow, and there's a little bit of a hitch, I think, but it's not like anything debilitating by any stretch. This is just going to be way off, and again, the touch for him is inconsistent. Obviously, I've mentioned that tons of times. We've seen him. He's going 2 for 5 from 3 in this game, and we've seen 2 really bad misses from him from 3, and that's just kind of like the give and take that you're going to have with Jalen Suggs. And yeah, Joel Ayayi, first round pick for me, by the way. Probably won't be in the mock draft just because I don't think he'll get picked in the first round. But like, I'm a Bulls fan, obviously, and they had the 38th pick. I would be over the moon if we got him at 38. If he fell to us, that would be unbelievable. I would be so excited because I think he's a really, really good NBA player. Reminds me of like a Garrett Temple type, you know? So again, Suggs on Juzang, and he's done a really good job locking Juzang down. You can see right here, again, just the otherworldly awareness, right? He's not afraid to kind of just sell out and try and make these kind of explosive plays. And there will be a great example of him connecting on this later in the half, I promise. But again, notices that the drive is kind of going to be open. Timmy doesn't really have the foot speed. Aaron Cook's not in a great position. Suggs is immediately going to try and run over and contest that shot. Trying to make that home run play defensively where, it's a smart gamble. And again, 90% of the time with Suggs, it's going to be a smart gamble. In the NBA, he probably won't be able to get away with it as much as he did at Gonzaga. But I do think it's a very, very legitimate part of his game. Let me see him again on Juzang. Juzang hasn't scored in a very long time. I don't know if he scored in the second half. Again, Suggs just on him. Jaquez, very nice shot over Kispert, I think. Very nice shot. There's a Hep Cronin. I think that's his name, right? Hep, something Ep, right? We're going to run a little UCLA cut. Again, good job by Suggs getting his defender off balance. And again, just watch the simplicity he can go with Timmy, right? So again, he's getting Singleton off balance, right? And so he kind of has this, and then he waits for Timmy for a split second to get that reverse seal on, I think that's Cody Riley. And again, he just slips that pass right in there, leads Timmy towards the basket, right? And he's going to get an easy layup, okay? So again, great seal by Timmy. Oh, that's Jalen Clark, excuse me. But overall, great seal by Timmy, and then Suggs delivers the pass right in the correct area. You know what I mean? He just kind of has that game-breaking passing vision. That's obviously something really, really worthwhile for an NBA prospect to have. And again, waits for that seal. He knows where he's going with the ball, right? And again, the timing with Suggs and this Gonzaga offense was pristine all season. Another clear example of it here. If you want more of that, by the way, I do have a video on Jalen Suggs from the Kansas game where I just broke down all of his points from the Kansas game and all of his assists. If you guys don't mind just probably the worst audio ever, it's a good watch, I think. But the audio is really shitty, so I apologize for that in advance. If you want to go watch it, I'll actually just link it down below. But again, just the timing right here. He knows where he's going, waits for Timmy to seal off Jalen Clark, gets that pass right to where only Timmy can get it, and it's an and one, right? So again, really, really smart, heady play. Not the flashiest thing. He obviously does have flash to his passing game, but just the simple ones he can make as well. And Suggs is going to be out for a little bit right here. I'll skip ahead to, I believe, 56, 59. And there we go. So again, final, I believe, 9:45. Yeah, 9:45 left in the second half. Plus the overtime. Right there, we got a foul. Suggs maybe got a little bit too attached to Juzang right here. Again, Timmy kind of has to monitor this too because you can't really leave Juzang on this flare screen, right? But it's going to leave Tiger Campbell with a wide open drive to the basket. Not entirely Suggs' fault, but maybe see him, offer a little bit more resistance just in terms of staying there. But I do get that you can't leave Johnny Juzang open. He's done a great job guarding him thus far in this half. We got free throws for Tiger Campbell, and here comes Gonzaga. Up by 3. And here's Suggs again. Again, can't really break anybody down with that handle right there. And this is what I mean, where he kind of needs to get a little bit more elastic with the ball in his hands, right? Being able to kind of worm his way into certain situations. Because right here, Tiger Campbell is kind of just going to stonewall him, right? He goes to that spin, can't really get any, forward momentum going towards the basket. And again, like the lack of just kind of like a mid-range pull-up jumper right now kind of hurts him in those situations where, obviously that's not what you want to be shooting a lot of, but just having that in your bag, we've seen how important that is in the playoffs especially, right? Just kind of the ability to shoot mid-range twos. It's such a lost art. And so if he really wants to be kind of like that 3-level scorer type, he definitely needs to work on that a little bit. Again, good job chasing Juzang around that screen. And again, just active hands, right? That's a really tough shot for Juzang, and he's just going to bury it in Suggs' face. And again, we've talked about like the limited versatility he has defensively just because he is 6'4", right? I mean, I wouldn't want him to be guarding anybody taller than Juzang like in the NBA. But I mean, like, this is about as good of defensive effort as you can get. Hands in the face, he stays with him stride for stride, bodying him up, and Juzang just knocks it down. A really, really impressive shot from him. But overall, I was pretty impressed with the Suggs defense right there. And looks like we got a jump ball. And again, just kind of Suggs maybe doing a little bit too much with the ball. Again, he's dribbling it into 5 guys defensively, right? And so he's trying to just kind of power it towards the basket. Not really an open shooter. Maybe he could get Nembhard right here, but again, that's a tough pass to make. But it's ultimately going to be a jump ball, and I believe Gonzaga's ball. And that was a Juzang shot we saw. That's such an awesome play. Holy shit. Can I just read? This is such a good inbounds play. This is a baseline. I mean, I don't know how this even works. How does UCLA let this happen? This is just a simple basket cut. Juzang falls asleep for half a second, and then Corey Kispert showing you that underrated athleticism that he does possess. Corey Kispert, we haven't really talked a lot about him recently, have we? He is going to be top 20 guy for me, for sure. Maybe straddling that edge of the lottery. I would say right now probably in that 16 to 18, 16 to 19 range right now, just for me personally. Yeah, that would probably be where I'm at with him. Again, I just think he's going to be a super productive NBA player. The shooting will translate immediately. Again, we've all seen the Joe Harris comparisons. I'm not going to just strike back against that because I think those are very, very good. That's a very, very good thing to have. Right there, again, we could just see Suggs kind of picking apart the defense. Again, he has very good pace about him in these situations too. Doesn't really lose his composure. Waits for things to open up before making the play. Doesn't feel rushed. And again, just a simple slip. And right, he's just going to fire this pass in between Jaquez and I think that was between Cody Riley and Juzang. I actually want to re-watch this pass. I want to see where this came from. Was that in between Juzang's? Regardless where it was. Still a very good pass nonetheless, and he's going to get Anton Watson some free throws right there. Suggs is back on Juzang. Again, just being tasked with kind of just staying with him. Again, really good physical defense right there. I think he was a defensive back in high school too. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was kind of a quarterback and a really tough shot by Tiger Campbell right there, but a quarterback and a DB. And you can kind of see the DB skills if he was one. If not, it's still a very good defensive play. But I'm just being able to stick with Juzang, move laterally, not really give him an inch off the ball. Again, another really nice pass by Suggs right here, and this is just a quick decision-making, simple give and go. It's going to be almost like a dribble handoff, and then Kispert's just going to kind of roll or cut to the basket, right? And again, Kispert immediately, what is Jaquez doing? Where is he looking? He's looking for the screen. Kispert takes advantage of it again. Gonzaga's very good at read and react, smart basketball, right? And Suggs just find him right on the rope, right? And Kispert just can't really handle a pass. But overall, you can just kind of see the vision and just the overall just execution that Suggs does possess in that pass right there. Again, he had 6 assists in this game. He probably could have had at least 9. Based on what I've seen. And again, there are some games where he's just ridiculous passing the ball. There are some passes where he makes these full court bounce passes like Magic Johnson. There are other ones where he's just throwing up really perfect lobs, hitting pick and roll, splitting defenses, pocket passes, just everything. This isn't the most remarkable passing game for Suggs by any stretch. But again, he still is making very smart, simple reads, right? And again, we're going to see a very good pass in about 5 minutes of game time right now. Just probably one of the best offense sequences I can remember watching live. Again, good defense by Suggs. I mean, there's really not much you can do, and this is why I have Juzang as a top 30 guy on my board right now, because not everybody can just rise and fire like this. This is that's Kevin Durant shit. You know what I mean? That's incredible to just rise and fire over Jalen Suggs. Again, Suggs really isn't giving him any room, and Juzang's just making him making really tough shots. So again, not really much Suggs can do. I think he's done a really good job on Juzang. All things considered in this half. I've been really impressed with his defensive effort. Right there is going to be a charge. Yeah, tough play. And again, this is where he kind of maybe gets a little bit sped up, a little bit out of control, right? He's very good in terms of controlling pace on the perimeter. When he gets into traffic, though, he maybe gets a little bit out of control at times. Right here, he's maybe could get a Yayi for an open 3, right? And again, good job by Tiger Campbell setting up and drawing that charge. You can't really do that. And yeah, offensive foul. Suggs is going to be out for a little bit right here, and he'll be back in, in like 2.5 minutes of YouTube time. And here we go. So you can see Gonzaga's kind of gone cold since Suggs has been out. And again, let's see what he does here. Again, he's going to get the ball top of the key. Has a mismatch right now. Doesn't really want to exploit it. We got UCLA ball. So right there, that was a really good screen by Cody Riley. But then Suggs just does a really nice job fighting over that second one. I just want to go back and watch the screen. Because again, like Suggs, this is rare for him to just totally die on a screen. This was more just like a brick wall screen by Cody Riley, right? We're going to see it right there. Again, like really good job. And then Suggs immediately, though, he recovers and then he's not afraid to go back at Cody Riley again. He's going to avoid this screen and still manage to stay on Juzang, right? And deny him that pass, right? The second level in terms of his just like defensive effort and intensity. You can see him diving on the floor. He's still right in the grill of Tiger Campbell. Just overall, his effort level in this game has been phenomenal, in my opinion. And again, I think with that kind of worker's mentality, there's such a high floor for Jalen Suggs that, if he's even like a Mike Conley type, I think that's probably worth it it's definitely worth it at 4, maybe worth it at 2, right? And so, maybe he's the guy that Jalen Suggs wants to model his game after. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of guys like that where I just feel like he could be a super steady, rock-solid franchise point guard for a decade and a half, right? Maybe he's not an all-star every year. Again, right there, really good job fighting over those screens. Juzang's going to miss a shot, but I think they get bailed out with the foul call. Maybe not an all-star every year. It's hard to be an all-star in the NBA. And obviously, I think, with the influx of talent coming into the league, we got to kind of rearrange what we think of as success for these high picks, because being an all-star, there are more than 24 all-stars in this league right now. There are at least 35. So you're not going to make an all-star team every year, right? Unless you're like a LeBron, a Harden, a Kawhi, KD. Obviously, those players are great. But again, Damian Lillard, I think, is only a 7-time all-star. You know what I mean? I want to see you made that pass really quick. That was Nembhard. Okay. And he's one of the best players in the league right now. And so Mike Conley, obviously a tremendous player, only a 1-time all-star, and he was just a sub this past season. So, I don't want to hear, in 3 years, oh, yeah, Suggs just isn't really, an all-star yet, all this stuff. Okay, that's fine. Kind of a little bit of a tangent for me to go on, but I do think, there is just such a solid floor with Suggs that I think it makes him worth taking at 2. And then, obviously if he's, borderline all-star for the next 15 years, I consider that a success. Because I do think, again, right there, Suggs showing the effort, the intensity, right? Forcing that shot clock violation, again, just jumping that DHO. Good hedge by Drew Timme as well, right? But again, just watch this. Just fighting over. It's a slip screen. They're trapping Juzang out of it, right? And again, it's just Suggs right there. Again, just the effort has been outstanding for Jalen Suggs in the second half. We got a turnover for UCLA. But no, I think the discourse in terms of how valuable all-stars are in the NBA needs to change. Because I don't even think Chris Middleton was an all-star this year for the Milwaukee Bucks, right? And obviously the super team era seems to be somewhat behind us, right? Just in terms of teams kind of just loading up on 3 generationally gifted players. Obviously you have Brooklyn right now, but they're always hurt, so it doesn't really, matter a whole lot. But there is just kind of a sense for just these franchise guys who maybe don't get the all-star recognition, but are still very, very elite NBA players, right? And so I think Suggs maybe can depending on where he goes, can maybe fall into that thing where it's he's a borderline all-star every year, but just at worst, I think he's just a Mike Conley type of presence, which is obviously a very good player. Right there, that can't happen. That is the first time I've seen him really kind of just, I don't know what, you can't leave Juzang open like that one pass away, right? And so I think he maybe thinks Nembhard's going to cover for him, but still, that's really inexcusable, especially at this stage in the game, right? Suggs can't be doubling Cody Riley. I understand he wants to go make a play, right? But you're leaving the hottest shooter in the world right now open for a 3, off the catch, way too easy, right? That can't happen. And again, there's an example of kind of the aggression kind of coming back to bite him a little bit. Excuse me. We got a timeout right here. I want to see Yeah, again, right there, there's the play. Suggs, that can't happen. His first real defensive miscue of the game right there. Comes at a pretty bad time. Obviously, he makes up for it. But, oops, there we go. But yeah, that was the first one where I was kind of, that one where I'm like kind of, that's bad. Let's see what we got here again. We talked about his versatility on and off the ball. You know, doesn't really need the ball in his hands to be effective because he could be a primary or secondary creator. You can see him right there. Again, can't really get anything going. That's just, never mind. Okay, this is where I see potential star with Jalen Suggs, okay? If this can happen more often, if he can get really comfortable doing these little mid-range turnarounds, right? Like we see right here. Again, the handle looked really good here. Again, like the in and out with the left hand. I think he goes between the legs right here. Again, the crossover, the pivot, fadeaway. That's legit. Like, that is all-star. That is, you know, like championship contending point guard right there. That's probably the most encouraging offensive play that we have seen from Jalen Suggs all game. Again, just gets to his spot on the dribble, not afraid to, you know, stop short of the lane, right? A lot of times here we'll see him trying, like, you know, try and ram into Jaquez here, you know, try and force up a shot. He is good at getting fouled and getting to the free throw line, but he does that a little bit too often for my liking. Such good awareness right here. Again, the reverse pivot, good rotation, great touch, perfect swish. Ties the game with 2.5 minutes left. Again, most encouraging sequence offensively we've seen from him all game, in my opinion. And again, here he is on Juzang, right? And then they switched it. So Nembhard's on Juzang, he's on Tiger Campbell. And again, kind of got hung up on that screen right there. That is a ridiculous play. And that's the block of the game. So again, he looks beat right here, okay? He looks absolutely beat. Cody Riley's going to hit him hard with the screen, right? And then Ayayi, I think, has to go back to Jules Bernard. He should have been right here in the middle of the lane, right? So this looks like a dunk. If I pause it right here, this is going to be an easy dunk for Cody Riley, right? Suggs makes probably the biggest winning play of this game. Tie game, minute left, and then watch this. Boom! There's not really much I can say other than just, like, watch it again. This, again, probably the most impressive play of the tournament for me by far. Just in terms of the effort, like, from a big-time player. Look at the situation, 2:01 left on the clock. Again, gets the block, gets the ball, and immediately just the Magic Johnson cross-court one-hand dart pass to Drew Timme. He does the mustache celebration. And you can just see Mick Cronin just like, what the fuck? Like, Jalen Suggs, he is going to beat this team. He is going to beat us so bad. Like, you wonder what's going on through Mick Cronin's head right there, because that's a 6'4 guy blocking a 6'10 guy at the rim, getting the rebound off the block, and then picking out Timme with a perfect pass, right? That's just incredible stuff. Juzang, though, will not be denied. Again, good ball screen here by Riley. Suggs kind of has to, you know, pivot over the screen. Timme needs to contest this a little bit better, and then Suggs will take the roller. They want to switch it. But Juzang, that's a big-time shot right there, too, you know. But overall, just that play, the block and then the pass, just unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. Suggs right here, going to get a ball screen. Can't do much. Ooh, see, this needs to be... You'd wish, if he gets this much space off the dribble, right, you would hope that this would be a shot, right? This is like a clear shot. I think he hits Nembhard, which is not a bad pass, right? But again, like, Jules Bernard's able to recover pretty easily. That needs to be a shot, though, if I'm Jalen Suggs. And I think that'll come, and he'll get more confident pulling those types of mid-range step-back shots as he gets a little bit more comfortable with his jump shot, which is inevitable, I think. And obviously, it doesn't really matter. Let's just watch this pass again. Again, just boom. Such a dart, you know what I mean? And he has so many of those passes throughout the year, you know? And so, again, just like the electrifying passing of Jalen Suggs is something that... And there's a block, too. Again, maybe he probably gets his arm right there, you know? Whatever. If they don't call it, they don't call it. That's just like an incredible effort play. By, at this point, a top 5 pick. And in my books, probably a top 2 pick if I'm drafting. So again, right here, Suggs on Juzang. Again, he's known better, right? He's not leaving Juzang maybe gets sucked in a little bit right there, but we got a foul right here. Free throws on the way for Jaquez. He makes both here, which I thought were massive free throws. Yeah. And again, here we go. Final 40 seconds of regulation. Remember, there is overtime in this game, so just stick around for that. See Suggs right there. He's looking for Timmy in the post. Can't really get anything going. Good crossover by Suggs right there. Again, really nice job kind of setting up his defender, right, by rejecting this ball screen. He gets his defender moving. And again, he does have kind of that shiftiness on the perimeter. It just kind of becomes like when he gets into the lane, doesn't really have that wiggle. But right here, pretty explosive. Able to get some space. But Cody Riley with probably a game-saving block at this stage in the game, right? So you got the final 24 before overtime. Kispert's going to launch. Can't get it to go. Final 14 seconds. I don't remember what happens here, actually. I think Juzang gets it, right? Did he get called for a charge, maybe? I think that might be it. But again, you can see Suggs on Juzang, right? Ooh, Juzang kind of cooked him. So they're going to call a charge right here, but just... This is actually... I do like that they have Suggs on him, just kind of that, mentality. Juzang, though, great move right here, though. He just froze Suggs right there. But we're going to get a charge call. And then, obviously, I don't think anything happens at the end of regulation, right? They're going to review it. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. This is the March Madness official account. Why can't they just, edit out this review? Maybe it's for, the cinematic purposes, which I understand. If I'm just watching this game for pure nostalgia, right? That would be fun. So, again, they had Jalen Suggs throwing the ball. He is the high school quarterback after all. Nothing really comes of it, and we're going to overtime. So, yeah, we will watch OT. I think this was UCLA's third overtime game in a tournament, too. So, they were, well-versed. I think they went to overtime against Michigan State as well as Alabama, I believe. Alabama, by the way, right now, they might be my champs for 2022. Right here, again, simple pick and roll, right? Again, Suggs one-handed with the right hand, finds Timmy right on the money again. Right, that wasn't one-handed, actually, but, again, just simple passes, right? It's easy when you have a roll man like Drew Timme who can just, catch and finish with any sort of pass, right? And then Suggs, obviously, we're going to see it again right here. Again, just simple reads. It's on time, on target, the most important things in terms of an NBA passer, and Timmy's going to miss that free throw. But, good job by Suggs right there, getting him the ball and leading him towards the basket for an easy deuce. And again, you can see Suggs still on Juzang. And so I think, Juzang has had some good shots in the second half, but overall I think he's done a very good job on him. Suggs has done a very good job on Juzang. And those are the types of, defensive plays that you don't, obviously you remember the block, right? But, that's a big-time shot by Cody Riley. But, obviously you remember the Suggs block, but, just in terms of, you're not really watching the Final Four, at least in my view, from, a scouting perspective, just because I love college basketball. So, I'll watch it just for more the entertainment value. But it is kind of fun going back, watching these tournament games from a different lens. Obviously, this is a scouting angle. And so we get to see Suggs pretty much in his full glory, I would say. This is probably one of the most complete games he played all year. As Timmy gets another easy post-up for a layup. And so it's kind of fun just kind of rewatching him from a different lens. And obviously in this one, we're watching it from the Jalen Suggs lens. See Jaquez right there. Can't get it to go. And again, so Kispert needs to slow down. Yeah, that's smart. There we go. We got, again, get the ball to Timmy again. Good basket cut from Suggs right there. That's part of the Gonzaga read and react offense. The basket cuts, and you can just see Timmy just going to town right now. He's been automatic in this overtime. Got a timeout for UCLA. UCLA. One of my uncles called it UCLA once, and it's always been in my head as UCLA. Obviously, like the UCLA. The clap thing. I've always, done that when referring to UCLA. They're a fun school, though. They're another team, too. If Juzang comes back, which, he might, because he's not really getting a whole lot of draft love given his tournament performance. If he comes back, UCLA is going to be loaded. They got Peyton Watson coming in, who's a 5-star, 6'8" wing, can shoot it, really fluid, kind of like Brandon Ingram type. And so he'll be added to the mix. And, they return basically everybody relevant from a Final Four team, and then they add a 5-star guy. So that'll be very, very fun to watch, in my opinion. I think they're going to be like a top 3 team preseason. Without Juzang, probably like top 15. But they are definitely a team to watch moving forward. We got Suggs right here. Again, getting that ball screen. So again, right there, it somehow goes to Kispert, right? But again, like, just kind of looks like the going one speed when he gets into this middle of the floor area. I think he could work on, right? Again, good crossover setting up Paquez, right? And again, we've seen him drop off to Timmy in this situation, but Timmy's not really in a great spot. If he's kind of behind Riley, maybe that pass gets thrown. And Suggs kind of gets just like drilled, I think, below the belt a little bit. And somehow the ball ends up in Kispert's hand. You can see Suggs just kind of writhing in pain on the floor. Again, that's 3 in the key, but, whatever. Ayayi's going to miss that 3. And again, you can see the toughness here. Again, he kind of just gets hit, but then he's going to be right again in Juzang's face. Fighting over screens, chasing him around. You can see him kind of grabbing his abs right there. And here he is on Tiger Campbell. And Cody Riley's going to knock down another one of those mid-range jumpers. He was automatic from that 15-foot range in the tournament. Like, it was unbelievable. Like, every single time UCLA needed a big shot, just get the ball to Cody Riley 18 feet away from the basket and just watch him sink it. Very impressive performance from him. Here's Kispert driving, can't really get much going, and here comes UCLA. And again, right there, Suggs kind of just going all out, trying to dive on the floor for this ball again. I appreciate the willingness to, get on the floor, per se. Not really sure if this is the best decision right here, but he almost gets it. But again, now it leads to, a 3-on-1 for UCLA. They can't convert, but Suggs kind of got lucky there in terms of his gamble. We got a timeout. Much needed timeout for Gonzaga. That is a smart call by Mark Few. Gonzaga's going to be fun next year, too, while we're talking about 2022, guys. Obviously, they got Shed Holmgren coming in, number 1 player in the class. Probably going to be top 2 draft pick. It's going to be him or either Paolo Banchero from Duke. Then you have, Hunter Salas, who's a 5-star guy coming in. Can't get much going on there for Kispert. Ooh, Nembhard, step back. Bang! He'll be back next year. He'll be very good. They're losing, I think, 4 key guys, but the 3, obviously, Suggs, Kispert, and Ayayi are all gone. I think they're losing Aaron Cook as well. But Nembhard will be back, and Nembhard is a very good player. Again, you can see Suggs right there moving his feet well, staying strong. Just a very solid overall player defensively. We've said it before again. Just when I see Jalen Suggs, the more I'm watching him, the more I'm just thinking, solid. He's built. Physically, he's, well built. You know what I mean? He's strong, not going to get pushed around easily. Embraces contact. Very poised in most situations. And so, listen, I'm not saying, he plays like Mike Conley, but I can see him having a very Mike Conley-like career, where maybe he kind of goes a little bit underrated throughout his career. And now he's kind of getting his flowers as he ends his career. Not ends his career, but just kind of enters in a new kind of era of his career, I would say. And so I just think that's maybe what he can end up as. And I think that's kind of a floor for him. So having a floor of Mike Conley, I think, is a very, very encouraging trait to have, right? And so obviously his ceiling, I think, is probably one of the better, maybe a top 5 guard in the NBA. Kind of a guy that can, run a championship team. You can see Suggs right there. Can't convert fully on the baseline. Kicks it back out to Nembhard. Nembhard can't get anything going. Oh, can he? Nope. Ooh, good fake. Kick it out to Kispert. That's who you want shooting it? Ooh, bad miss. And here comes UCLA with 17 seconds left, down by 2. And again, here's Suggs on Juzang. They're going to switch it. Juzang's going to attack it. Oh, man. Oh, that's brutal. So 3.3 seconds left. What do you think's going to happen here? I don't know. I don't remember how this game ends. I don't think I do. Let's see what happens here. Oh, wow. Suggs going to pull from... Whoa! Oh, my God. Gonzaga's going to the title game. What a shot. And you can see Suggs. Legendary picture right there. Him on the scorer's table. Great way to end it. Probably the best game all year. Again, we'll watch the play again just because we have to, I feel like. Again, 3.3 seconds left. Suggs, knowing time and space, right? Just gives it a launch. I'm not going to act like he meant to bank it in. Obviously that's just kind of like a lucky, not a lucky shot, but just like an unlikely shot. But again, big-time players make big-time shots. Jalen Suggs, in my opinion, big-time player. And with that image right there. Oh, no, not that image. That image. Wait, hang on. Let me get a better pause image. Yeah, there we go. I'll end it right there. Suggs being embraced by his teammates. Again, just ultimate, winning intangibles with Jalen Suggs. Has all the effort you want. Hustles, gets on the floor, loose balls. Willing to take on big-time defensive assignments, as we saw with Juzang in the second half. Hits big-time shots. Very good passer, as we've seen. And again, just goes all out to win basketball games. Jalen Suggs, the number 2 player on my board right now. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I will see you tomorrow. I think we're going to do Kai Jones tomorrow, maybe Jalen Green. Also, I might just take the day off just to prep for the mock draft video that I should be getting out by Wednesday, maybe Thursday. So yeah, regardless, if I see you tomorrow, if I don't see you tomorrow, I should say, good luck to your favorite team in the lottery. Please say a prayer for my Chicago Bulls. Please help Chicago bring home this lad right here, Jalen Suggs. That would be a dream come true for me. But overall, again, good luck to all your guys' teams. I'll shout out Sonny K for his Raptors if he ever sees this video. Hopefully your Raptors get Cade Cunningham. I'm rooting for you guys to get him if we don't. We being the Bulls. But overall, thank you guys for watching. As always, thanks for your continued support. And again, if you want to get any players sooner rather than later, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you guys kind of just chiming in with your thoughts and opinions on all these players. Makes it a lot more enjoyable for me. So overall, thank you guys, and I will see you tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, Wednesday or Thursday. So thank you. Have a great day, and good luck to your favorite team in the lottery. Go Bulls!